didn't think of myself as an artist or even as an aspiring artist until really well after college. In high school, I was busy playing drums, and any chance I could.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and, the bands that did covers of all kinds of different, all kinds of different stuff. This was the 70s. So it's kind of a golden age, but everything from reggae to big band stuff, and in a weird way, I think that being a drummer has sort of helped my hatching as a drawer.
Sure.
So from drummer to drawer is not such a big step, right? So hatching is rhythmic.
Yeah.
It's all about intervals and pressures and kind of all in the wrist kind of thing.
Yeah.
So maybe, though I wasn't doing anything artistic in high school, I was doing something that tied, that provided kind of a physical basis, created kind of manual habits, perhaps. That probably called upon. It's not something I've thought very much about. But you asked what I was doing in high school.
Yeah. Are you still playing music?
No, though I have located my drum set, which I borrowed or which I lent out to my cousin, who lent it out to his cousin on the other side of his mother's side of the family, which is not my side. And apparently, that drum set traveled to Europe and back, and so I have relocated my drum set.
Long lost friend.
I'm going to ask for it back so that I can play. So I then sort of went to college and continued playing, but not very much. At that point, I was more interested in kind of running track and being a religion major in college. Now there, the religion department, you could sort of you could go historical or philosophical, Eastern or Western. So I went sort of Western and philosophical. So I've always just been sort of interested in big questions. I had a fairly strict, quite strict religious upbringing, and so I got to college and saw that as a chance to maybe dig a little deeper into the things that I had been taught and the things that I had accepted pretty much without question, and was able to take a lot of courses in philosophy. Philosophy of religion. Ended up writing a senior thesis on St. Augustine and his relationship to Gnosticism. The Gnostics were about heretical, sort of pre-Christian sect running around the Mediterranean world, and I started to become sort of attracted to sort of alternative ways of approaching religious thought, and so and the Gnostics were very marginal people and unorthodox in their thoughts, and yet Saint Augustine, who was all about church orthodoxy, was sympathetic to their thinking. So. In a weird way, I think that kind of laid a foundation for the way I approach art. So I'm interested in what it is that counts as orthodoxy, where the marginal thinkers kind of fit into the picture, and can that marginal thinking pierce that orthodoxy and enliven it.
Right.
So that it was kind of an intellectual foundation that was being laid, when I was in college. Now, after freshman year, I took a course over the summer so I was, I guess, 19, at what was then the New York Drawing Society. It was the precursor to the New York Academy of Art.
Okay.
So this would have been 1980 or 1979.
Right.
My goodness, this was a long time ago. They were running cast drawing courses in the attic of the Dr. Norman Vincent Peale Collegiate Church in St. Mark's Square, in the Lower East Side. I grew up in New Jersey, so I drove my uncle's car at night out into the city and drew the bust of Roma, and spent a summer with my first teacher, Melick. Melick is now deceased, but he was one of the first artists that Leo Castelli retained. Leo Castelli, of course, is hugely impactful because of the artists such as, I think, Roy Lichtenstein, if I'm not incorrect. And in sort of pioneering some American modernists, but Melick was part of that group. But he was not a modernist. He was a student in Paris in the 20s and 30s, and being sort of reoriented toward a Puvis de Chavannes type kind of classicism. So Melick, at some point during that summer, said, "You're pretty, you're okay with this. You should think about doing this."
Yeah.
Oh, I actually have the drawing I made that summer.
You have it there.
It's right here. It's right here. Shall I get
it? Yeah, let's see it. Oh, fantastic! This is your cast drawing.
So,
yeah.
It's a cast drawing, right? And this was not pre-planned. I mean, I just happened to have this.
That is auspicious.
I happened to have this nearby. I was unpacking some things. So I was, I guess, 19 when I drew that.
Yeah.
And what moved me to take that course was a poster for the New York Drawing Society, and I just remember being attracted to the artwork. It was, I think it was a Delacroix, one of his student academies, a painting of a nude. And I remembered that I drew cartoons for the high school yearbook. And I don't know, something moved me to the course. So I drew that drawing, and Melick Andreevich said, you can do this, and if you'd like to, so you should think about it. And he said he taught at Brooklyn College at the time, and he said, think about this for graduate school. So I loved doing it. Just being in that attic was really marvelous. Michelangelo, I don't know how they got those casts up there because it was a narrow stairway.
Yeah, right. Took a couple windows out or a couple doors out. I can
imagine.
Yeah.
Michelangelo's Dying Slave, a cast of Michelangelo's Dying Slave,
huge,
with its upraised elbow, fit within the interior of the steeple.
Right. So just perfectly.
It was magical.
Yeah.
So I guess 7 years went by. After I graduated, I taught English, prep school English, kind of as a way to recuperate from the thesis I was just talking about. And after a couple of years of that, I thought, I don't think I want to continue teaching English. I knew I didn't want to go to a medical school or anything like that. And nor did I really want to continue in graduate school in philosophy or history or anything like that. I just didn't feel quite cut out for it. But I remembered Melick Andreevich saying, what about, think about art for graduate school. And so at that point, I tried to kind of reconnect with the New York Drawing Society, but by then it had become the New York Academy of Art. And I they were offering a free year.
Really? Wow.
Absolutely. Because
they're not offering that anymore.
They offered it then because they were trying to create a graduate program, and I think they needed a class of guinea pigs.
Sure, yeah.
So it's just perfectly timed. I took a free year, and I had enough. When I taught, I managed to save a little bit of money because I had on-campus housing. So I had a tiny little bit of money to spend on, being able to concentrate full time. And then the next year was graduate school, and they had me teach in the graduate program.
Really?
The very next year. And I sort of remained there teaching at the New York Academy until I think about the year 2000.
Really? Wow.
2001. So it was about 15, it was about more like 18 or 19 years.
Right, yeah.
At that point, I shifted to the Lyme Academy College of Fine Arts, where there was a rare endowed chair in drawing. And I remained at Lyme until it closed in 2019.